When the weather's bad, it doesn't matter how much you want to go out on your bike, you can just feel like there's just no way you're going to enjoy it.
But we are pleased to be able to tell you that that's not actually true. You can ride your bike even when it's cold, rainy or snowy and still enjoy it. All you've got to do is follow these simple tips, modify your plans accordingly, and then you can keep riding all winter long. One of the main issues with winter riding is kind of obviously getting cold. Now whether that's either from the low temperatures or from a combination of that and rain, surface spray and snow.
But actually, staying warm in the winter can be quite simple. All you've got to do is ride harder. So whilst tradition might dictate that through the winter you should be doing slow, sociable, steady miles with your friends or club mates, maybe on the worst of days you shouldn't be doing that. Head out on your own and break from your plan. Another contributing factor to lack of intensity and therefore getting cold is descending. And you've obviously got the added complication too that the wind chill really comes into play. So on the really cold and nasty winter days, try to avoid long climbs if at all possible. I mean, you'll be really comfortable, snug and warm on the climb, but then you're going to freeze down the other side.
However, if you stay on the flat, you'll still be able to keep applying pressure to the pedals and therefore stay warm all ride long. However, if you don't have the luxury of miles and miles of flat roads where you live, then a good tip for when the weather's its absolute worst is to ride loops. Have a short circuit that you can do close to your home.
Yeah, in our experience, 10 to 20 kilometres is the perfect length for a short route, depending on exactly how long you want to be out for. And ironically, there's the added bonus that it can help you mentally ticking off the laps, and you'll know that if you need to go back home, you can do so at any time.
Well, how and where you ride makes a big difference to enjoyment of winter riding. Let's not neglect one of the most obvious ones as well, your clothing.
Yeah, it's worth pointing out now actually that you don't need expensive clothing in order to stay warm and dry through the winter months. In fact, a lot of what you see the professionals wearing in racing and also what they use in training is actually quite basic kit. But what you will need to do is carefully choose a few extra garments to go on top of your normal cycling wardrobe.
Yeah, we've got a video explaining all about that with some great tips, but in essence, we think you should focus on a long sleeve winter base layer, some insulated and windproof gloves, some waterproof overshoes, a hat to go under your helmet, and then also a windproof jacket. In our experience, these pieces make the biggest difference, and in fact, they also give you the biggest bang for your buck.
When the temperature drops and there's ice and snow on the roads, riding a road bike can mean taking unnecessary risks. So, what's the answer? Get a cross bike or a mountain bike. Not everyone has the cash for a second bike, but second-hand mountain bikes are often really cheap and it gives you the flexibility to keep riding when the temperature drops, and best thing is, when it drops below freezing, that's when the trails are in perfect condition in winter.
Okay, we'll admit it, there is a limit. Some days are just so grim, or maybe so dangerous, or it might be that the weather's been so bad for so long that you simply crack. And that's fair enough, it happens to even the most hardcore of cyclists.
Now, depending on what got you into riding in the first place, you can probably still scratch that itch by riding indoors. Now, clearly indoor trainers can be great for training. I mean, these things are like an instrument of torture, if that's your kind of thing. But also with the advent of apps like Zwift, which is a virtual world for cycling, you can even get the sociability as well by riding and racing against other people.
Yeah, and it is really cool that we now have so many options when it comes to riding or training indoors.
So there we go then, keeping on riding through the winter isn't that hard. You simply adjust the riding that you're doing, make it shorter and harder, stay away from mountains, and then also when the weather's really bad, ride short loops closer to home.
Yeah, riding off-road can keep you safe, the correct clothing is absolutely essential, and if all else fails, buy yourself an indoor trainer and carry on pedalling indoors. Now, if you would like to see some videos right here on GCN that you can train along to, if you click on that video and that little square just up there, it will take you through to a playlist where you can select from a whole host of great indoor training videos.
Or for some more information about winter clothing, then we've got a great video on the subject just down there.
Or you might want to subscribe to GCN
for loads more tips coming to you in the very near future. All you've got to do is click anywhere on the box that contains Si and myself.